What if Celestia wasn't that calm and gentle princess we know of? What if she was a strong leader, ready to fight as a true warrior? Would the villains still have lost? And would Twilight have learned the same lessons about friendship? Come on to see what would have changed in this alternative universe. Hey beautiful people, I'm Julie, and let's point some situations to ponder how they would play in this scenario. Celestia's alternative design. In this universe, the war was against the old villains like King Sombra, the Changelings, or even Nightmare Moon would be way more brutal and constant, forcing Celestia to abandon diplomacy and become an unstoppable leader, born in the battlefield. Let's remember that Celestia always fought to defend her people against threats, like she did against Chrysalis more than once. We just remember about the calm Celestia, but let me remind you that she and Luna already fought almost all the villains from the show prior to Twilight, okay? By the way, in the comic where Chrysalis' story is told, there's a scene where Celestia glide over Chrysalis. Look how awesome her hair is on fire. Speaking of her appearance, Celestia could have used a golden armor with a more savage mane, like she was made out of fire, just like Daybreaker. Really, her voice would be firm and she would have a serious look on her face. She would still be good, but wouldn't tolerate flaws. There would be no second chances to villains. Eternal exile? Yeah, sure. This idea came from a comment of yours, and I thought it was so good that I decided to make a whole video about it. So leave a like if you think the universe will be better than the original one, because I think it will. What would happen to the villains? Some of them wouldn't even have come back, like Chrysalis would have been defeated in Timbuktu 1,000 years ago, and her reign would have been dissolved, not given a chance of her to come back in Caden's wedding, and much even less chance later. This would have also eliminated any chance of the Changelings to find out about their transformation because, well, they would have been extinct. And this is kinda sad because I do like this other side of them, and knowing they don't have to steal love but actually give love to be happy. What you guys think? Comment down below. King Sombra would have been defeated by Princess Celestia and Luna, just like what happened in the original story when they used the elements of harmony against him, but Sombra would still be able to take the Crystal Empire with him. When Sombra returned, Celestia wouldn't be so patient, and while Cadence kept the magical shield up, the main six would take care of the population while Celestia and Twilight would go after the Crystal Heart to end Sombra once and for all in the most practical way. In the fight against Cosmos, Celestia and the others would win, and the princess would take Discord's help, not giving him a chance to erase her memory about the existence of Cosmos. This way, he wouldn't be made guilty for all that Cosmos, his girlfriend, caused, and wouldn't turn into stone, but would still be punished in some other lighter way. Celestia would recognize his utility, putting him as one of her generals, all because of his powers, and he would accept it by fear or respect for the princesses. You didn't expect this one, right? Leave your opinions in the comments if you disagree with me, but looking at Celestia as a general, it's normal to expect she sees the potential in some people, and like in Discord's story, he really helped in the fight, but rather take the blame for Cosmos, so in this universe, he would remain a good guy. T-Rex, who was banned to Tartarus by the Guardians, would be back in the present, but is captured by Discord, who would go there in Celestia's behalf. Comparing Discord's actions to his weaker-minded brother, T-Rex would appeal to Discord's old nature as the master of chaos, but as he is now the general of an army, he wouldn't fall into T-Rex's talk and would arrest him, taking him to the princesses, or would ban him to Tartarus once more, absorbing all the magic he has, not giving him a chance to grow and steal other ponies' magics. You see how easier things are here. Just needed to have an iron hook to avoid a lot of problems in the future. Her relationship with Luna, the fall of Nightmare Moon would have been way more tragic. Instead of saving her sister with the elements of harmony, Celestia would have to defeat her in an epic fade-off, with her heart aching, but with no hesitation. When Nightmare Moon would return to the moon, that if she returned, she would try to take over once more. But with Celestia getting stronger and more aware of of any dark magic that might appear, she would stand no chance until Discord appears. As a general of Equestria, he would have unique vision of the situation. He knew that was like being corrupted and knew how mercy could be powerful. Discord would make an appeal, saying, "You gave me an opportunity, why not give her one?" And Celestia would hesitate for the first time. The warrior princess would start to understand that true strength wasn't in defeating her enemies, but restoring them, getting back what seems to be lost. Nightmare Moon would be locked up in a magical prison where Celestia would keep searching a way to free her sister. Then the friendship part of the show would head a new way. Twilight's role. In an Equestria led by a warrior princesses, Twilight would have been trained as a military strategy apprentice. Instead of focusing on friendship, she would study war tactics, magical defenses, and would have a much more combatant approach. Maybe she would wear some armor too. What do you think? And her tasks wouldn't be in Ponyville, but actually real missions with real threats until Nightmare Moon appeared and presented a more bigger threat, one that Equestria didn't see in years. This way, the young unicorn would learn about the elements of harmony and travel to the castle of the two sisters. She would also meet the other main six as a different way, but throughout her journey, she would find out they represent the elements of harmony and would help to free Nightmare Moon. Here, Twilight wouldn't be so incredulous to friendship because she knew that allies are important in battles, learning that with Celestia herself, so she would quickly give value to main six, recognizing their importance. This way, they would head to the magical prison and use the elements of harmony to free Luna, turning her back to normal. This way, Celestia would have her sister back on her side, even though now she would keep an eye on her until she had to trust once again. Let me just remind you that in this context, the world is in peace, okay? Like, they aren't at war or anything like that, exactly because Celestia defeated all the villains that would appear from now on, okay? About the main six, I do believe that it would happen something like in the Cutie remark from season 5, when Starlight traveled in time and found the warrior versions of the main six, with Pinkie Pie alongside her sisters being an army, showing the strength of the Earth Ponies together with Applejack and Rainbow Dash, and even Fluttershy and Rarity would help around according to their abilities. I think that the girls would be less exciting and maybe remains always alert, like soldiers really, but still would joke around to teach us about friendship because, again, they would not be at war. Equestria girls. In this universe, there probably would not be a reason for an Equestria girls to happen, and let me explain why. Sunset Shimmer would have fled to the human world when Celestia didn't make her a princess, but would know about the strength of the former master and would hardly come back to try and face her. When Twilight would become a princess, and Twilight would take a much harsher approach on her, not hesitating in jumping her in the casting a strong spell, which would defeat her. This way, Sunset World meets Celestia, explain her intentions, and stay locked in a magical prison for a long time, until the main six start to work on turn her into a good person again. This way, magic wouldn't spread to the human world, and the Dazzlings wouldn't be able to acquire magic powers again. Even the Everfree Forest wouldn't grow in the camp. Do you guys agree with me on that line though? Leave a like for me to know. The impact of Equestria in other realms. With a fiercer leader and even a feared one, Equestria would have more respect internationally. But would other realms see them as an ally or as a threat? How would the Griffins, the Yaks, and even the Dragons react to this world? Maybe Twilight would have a hard time teaching about friendship in this world, since others could not believe that such a sturdy leader would want allies. The main six would have a lot of extra work, but I'm sure that they would be able to gather allies little by little, even though there are no threats in this world. What do you guys think? Maybe Equestria would be even safer in exchange of losing all kindness and compassion? Or was the original Celestia, although sweet as a pie, the true hero by betting the friendship from the start? What do you guys think? And do you want me to keep the What If series with other ideas from you guys? Leave it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video till here, and hasta la vista!